Oh, oh, ahem, ahem. Dorn keebler villainry today. Dorn keebler villain arc. Dorn keebler villain. And doesn't that just roll off the tongue? The Dorn keebler. Alright. Let's go ahead and get back into purgatory today where I belong. Because, I'm a vile spirit on the inside. Okay, so, we're gonna need some sugarcane. Though I don't have much. So my plan is to go out and find some. But it isn't daytime. So if I go out there, I'm going to get completely obliterated. So guys, to add further emphasis, I'm kind of against people in general. But the thing is, I'm, hyper fixating on artists as of recently because, there's a lot of pretentious ones out there. And it doesn't really matter if there isn't, if there's some that is, Jesus. It doesn't really matter if there's some that aren't, to me. I think it's unfortunate for the ones that aren't because they just get grouped up with the ones that are and I don't really care. But, fortunately that's just the way the cookie's crumbling, Because these motherfuckers just can't, be normal, They can't just be respectful, They have to go and be annoying and cringe. Oh geez. Okay. This was a explosion and a half that happened right here. Seen plenty of those already, haven't we? But, I want them to feel hopeless because, it's, in my exclusive to me opinion, kind of what they deserve, But look, not everybody's gonna agree with that, and that's fair because it's kind of a vile take. I'm gonna be real. It's not a very innocent take, But I don't know. I guess I just can't help it, Just like these stupid motherfuckers can't help but be completely insufferable. So, it's just I just can't help it, guys. I just can't help it. I have to be insufferable. Just the way the cookie crumbles, Or a more on context scenario here. What? How is this different from this? How are these different things? No, they're not. Okay, they're not. Different things. Stop taking up space in my chest. Oh, that's... Ow. That's weird. Down, 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 down. I will go out of my way to make things worse because, I want to see these motherfuckers hopeless. It just fills me with joy. It fills me with glee and joy. You know me. I'm a vengeful, spiteful, fucking venomous lizard, I hate these motherfuckers. I want them to cringe. Okay, hold on. If I'm gonna utter these words, I have to do it in so voice here. I want them to feel the cringe. just as I have. Okay? Because it's annoying, you know? And, you know, I feel the same way about them that they feel about me. We're like, oh, you know, there's no way to just fucking make this motherfucker go away and stop being cringe, you know? Why do these look like this? This is unacceptable. Can I put it back? No, I can't. This is... What is this crap? You know, because there's not really a lot of things you can do in this world to make someone feel, you know, the pain that you feel, you know. Because everybody feels pain from different things. And for me, my pain, well, not entirely comes from cringe, you know. I can get over it, you know, if I detect that it's being done, you know, that it's something that's being done, like, purposefully. But, you know. There's not really a lot of things you can do to really get back in this world. I mean, this is plain old reality. You know? So the most you can do is just play a negative part, you know? And hope that it causes them just a little bit of grief, you know? Makes their world a little bit worse, you know? It's all you can hope. It's all you can, you know, try to go for in this world. Oh, shit. You know. Fuck you. Did it to yourself, buddy. Jeez. I think it's crazy that freaking cows can hold TNT and drop it on you. Down, 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 down. I need to go back to that swamp. Go back to the swamp. Why did I just save a screenshot? How the hell did I even hit F2? It's like all the way across my keyboard. Just can't tell you guys how good it feels to have something to make the world a worse place for somebody, you know? For somebody that I don't like, more specifically. You know? Hope that boss didn't despawn, because No, I haven't been in a peaceful one time, have I? Oh my god, there's a creeper behind me. Oh! Run! I'm dead. Oh! Oh my god, that boat's so done. Holy shit, dude. You know, the least I can sit with is the thought in mind that, you know, they know that no matter what they do, you know, AI is always going to have some sort of support for its existence, you know, someone who is actively supporting it and helping it grow. Just a little bit, you know. There's always going to be someone out there who cares more about AI than, you know, pretentious, shitty artists. Not all artists are pretentious, but a lot of them are. And they lack accountability or self-awareness for that fact. And I think that is not gonna work. You know, that's Just doesn't work. It's no good. Needs to be corrected. Attitude adjustment. You know, me supporting AI isn't going to do that, but, you know, what it's at least going to do is, you know, be a little bit insufferable, you know. A not good thing for their side of the world, you know. That's, you know. You know. I just don't want these motherfuckers to have the satisfaction of believing that they live in an AI-free world. You know? They don't deserve that satisfaction. Great. Where did I put my leather? Oh, there it is. This is a very important piece of equipment. Okay, I'll go like this here, and then I did it wrong, of course. This actually goes right, still right here, but you know we need two of these bad boys here. A little bit of that here. Okay. Then this is where important resources that I need. Let's go. Ding dong, ding dong, dong. You know, personally, I'm not swayed by disrespect. You know, and that's how these people get by in this world, guys. Is disrespect. You know, they get by being disrespectful and awful, and it's just not gonna happen. You know, it's not gonna work. You know, they don't feel like they have to adjust their attitude, which, you know, isn't really something that people should just be okay with. You know, and I've had me plenty of bad attitudes, but you know. But you know, these motherfuckers will call you names and then ask you for money. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, you know. This guy, I commented on this post. apologize, I'm busy. Okay. Skip ahead or something, I don't know. Conversating. A lot of these people, believe me, guys, I can't explain to you how much I love watching, let's just call them monsters, pedophiles, right? How much I love watching monsters get the shit beat out of them. But the thing is, from what I understand, the police have to investigate the investigation. You know? You know, you want this motherfucker away for life. You know, you want this motherfucker never to be free. You know? You want this motherfucker locked up, never to be free, never to see the light of day again. So why are you giving him an assault charge to use against you? It's beautiful, really, to well, honestly, it's kind of like, you know, like knowing, you know, seeing someone who's honestly that sick in the head, that can be kind of unsettling a little bit, but, you know, it is nice to see someone like that get the shit beat out of them and get what they deserve, you know, and you know, get humbled. But, you know what's even nicer? To see them get locked away forever, you know, and never be free. To be forever imprisoned and never to be able to walk, you know, never to be able to walk a free man again. That's the hope. That's the goal, you know? And, you know, I honestly wish that there could just, they you know, they were just, it was legal to beat the shit out of you, you know? I honestly wish that, you know, just as much as the next guy, you know, and even, you know. But it just, it's not what gets them away for life. You know what I mean? It's not, sometimes they do, though. Sometimes they do. You know, they do get put away, and that happens. But sometimes it doesn't happen. And, you know, that is very frustrating. Sometimes they don't get put away for life because, you know, someone decided to take it into their own hands and try and be Batman, right? Which I get it, you know. These motherfuckers deserve a beatdown. You know? Oh my god. Oh, there's creepers everywhere. Oh my god. There's creepers everywhere today. The whole stairway got blown to smithereens. You know, it's just, it's a lot more satisfying to see them never be able to block a free man again, you know? It's a lot more satisfying to see them get put away for life, you know? And sometimes they don't even get that. But, you know. I don't get why these motherfuckers don't just, you know, like, kill them. You know, pull up with a gun and just, you know. I guess that's probably because that person who killed them would probably go away. But, like, you know, in some of the videos, the guy's like, "You take the assault charge," or I'll take the assault charge, you take the pedophile charge, but, you know, it's not really how it works, you know, like, we obviously wish that was how it worked, you know, that would be nice, you know, they still got charged for being a fucking deplorable freak, but it isn't sometimes, you know, because the court system, it favors them, you know, and they'll say it favors everybody, but, you know, I don't really think that's true, you know, especially, you know, after we kind of know how the government is shaped out to be, you know, it just doesn't really seem like that's the truth, you know, it definitely seems like the system is more so shaped out for these fucking deplorable freaks than it is these deplorable soulless freaks than it is for, you know, people who just genuinely, you know, want to see a change in this world, you know. And, you know, I'll never stop watching the videos and just, you know, supporting them, of them just going up and, you know, beating the shit out of them, you know. But I will keep in mind the fact that it isn't the solution to the problem. You know, it's not putting them away for life. It's not extinguishing them from society. It's, you know, more so just giving them a little ass-kicking action, you know. And if you're gonna assault them, why even call the cops, you know? Like, because then, you know, it might be a case that ends up being beneficial, you know, to such a monster. Frankly, you know, I am tired of seeing these motherfuckers. It doesn't really seem like there's really been a case where, you know, this guy says, replying to my post, comment about it, you know, he's like, well, it is a lot more satisfying to see them get their ass kicked. I'm like, yeah, uh-oh. What is that? That was a hiss of TNT there. It is. It is. It really is. You know? But, well, I would say it's a lot more satisfying to see them get life in prison. You know? Put away for life. You know? Obviously, sometimes they don't even get that. You know? Which is honestly very weird and creepy to think about. You know? Very disturbing to think about. You know? How they just get to walk free when they, you know, how they just get to walk free even though they, you know, took the innocence of somebody, you know, or were intending to. You know, the world is not fair. It is not fair to people who the world isn't, like, you know, shaped to be easier for. Weirdly enough, you know, this world is shaped to be easier for monsters. Oh my god, dude. Fuck off. That baby spider go. Oh my god. I forgot about this. They completely fucking destroyed my stairway. There is just endless mob spawning going on down there. So hear all the baby spiders down there. No, none of that. Okay. something as a fishing rod down there. Oh my god. Oh my god, here they all come. Nope, he took me, threw me down there. Cool. You know, obviously, you know, from what I understand, their investigation has to be investigated. That's what I understand, is that, you know, they have to investigate their investigation. That's just how it is, you know, which is stupid. You know, if they clearly have evidence against this person, you know, but you know, I guess it needs to be determined if the evidence is real or not, you know. Great. Get away from me. Oh my god. I have to start using this axe. God, I can't even go down to the mine, dude. Oh, I gotta go. It is time. I'm coming.